Hi, I'm Fiona King and welcome to my presentation titled Tracking Creativity in Arts and Music, a document analysis of policy and curriculum in Victoria. I conducted a document analysis as part of my PhD research. My study is about teaching for creativity and creative processes for music educators and concerns teachers in Victorian state primary schools. The document analysis provided an historical perspective about creativity and education in Victoria, and it became part of the literature review within my study. Through the analysis of 25 documents, I tracked the word creativity first across all key learning areas in the curriculum, as shown in this outcome. The diagram shows the various placings of creativity in curriculum over a 40-year period, such as personal development, everyday life contexts, thinking processes, behaviours or attributes, design, ICT and innovation, and of course, in the arts. The place of creativity changed over time in the general curriculum and gained greater emphasis in the last 2 decades, and was evident also within the decennial declarations containing educational goals. Let's look at those for a moment. The Hobart Declaration of 1989, whilst it showed recognition for the arts as a key learning area, creativity was minimally mentioned, such as for the creative use of leisure time. There was only slightly more emphasis in the Adelaide Declaration a decade later for children to be creative users of new technologies. By 2009, the Melbourne Declaration, we see the clear goal of confident and creative individuals, which underpins more current curriculum. The arts, however, is different. It is one such place that I found in the curriculum in which creativity tends to be inevitable, like a constant, such as the speed of light. What does change within arts curriculum is the language used to describe it. This in turn filters into the way creativity and creative processes in music is presented in curriculum. Composition is one creative process that I'll refer to. I'll skim through some of the contents of the document analysis. I began with the 1985 Curriculum P12 frameworks for the arts, which contained explanations about creativity and creative processes, and even a model about learning in the arts. In music, it contained discipline-specific language, not only mentioning composition, but actually unpacking it too. The Hobart Declaration, a little while later, prompted a national collaboration in curriculum, which produced the Statements and Profiles documents of 1994. The Statements and Profiles for the arts also referred to creativity as part of learning in the arts, but in terms of cognitive learning, as a thinking skill. The Curriculum and Standards Framework, the CSF, of 1995 was Victoria's interpretation of the National Statement and Profile documents. It retained the arts strands presented in the Statements and Profiles, which included the strand creating, making and presenting. Composition is mentioned in descriptions of that strand. In the Arts CSF 2 of 2000, the word creating was removed. The strand creating, making and presenting became arts practice. We do see other words used instead, also found in the CSF, such as exploring personal experiences, imagining and experimenting. And when we move into the new century, VELS, the Victorian Essential Learning Standards, showed generic groupings of skills and knowledge in the arts. We see a return to the word creating with the strand creating and making, and of course exploring and responding. The VELS also included the statement, the arts engage children in critical and creative thinking, which is of course a capability that occurs across broader curriculum in later years. The Melbourne Declaration of 2009 brought about another national collaboration of curriculum, resulting in the Australian curriculum published in 2012. For Victoria, that meant AusVELS in 2013, and in 2017, the compulsory implementation of the Victorian curriculum F to 10 in state schools in Victoria. Creativity is mentioned as an aim in the arts in the Australian curriculum, but in the Victorian curriculum F to 10, it simply states the arts enable students to develop their creative and expressive capacities. The arts in the Victorian curriculum has 4 strands, the same for each art form, and one is explore and express ideas. Along with the strand music practices, composition is named and featured in both. I found that the word explore has been an important word in curriculum for the arts in Victoria. And in the survey component of my study, I had surveys and interviews. There were, of the 92 surveyed teachers, regardless of whether they taught music or not, a number of them felt that exploring was what creativity was mostly about. In conclusion, the arts component of my document analysis found that creativity, although minimally discussed at times in curriculum, is alluded to and woven into arts language. And for the arts, creativity is somewhat of a constant. And call it what you like, as stated by one of the interviewed participants in my study about her music classroom, she said, creativity, well, that's just what we do here. I'm Fiona King, thank you.